Hey you guys, we're back here again with more news about Elon Musk. Let's see what happened with Tesla. An analyst, Craig Irvin, said that in 2013 Apple wanted to buy Tesla for $240 per share, which is more than it's worth now. It's not clear how far they've gone in their negotiations, but it sounds pretty believable, and Apple might still be interested since they have their own self-driving car project called Titan. There have been rumors that in the midst of trying to save money, Tesla stopped buying stationery and even toilet paper. Allegedly, employees bring their own TP from home to stay within the budget. This is complete nonsense, Musk commented on Twitter. Elon sent a letter to Tesla staff where he wrote, "We've already received 50,000 orders this quarter, and we have a chance to break the record for deliveries set in Q4 2018. In order to do this, the company needs to consistently produce 1,000 Model 3s per day until the end of the quarter. Almost all parts of the production reached more than 1,000 units per day, several days in a row, and we produce about 900 cars per day on average. We're 10% away from producing 7,000 cars per week." At the end of April, Tesla updated the Model S and X cars and brought back their standard versions. Model S started from $78,000 and Model X from $83,000. A few weeks later, prices fell by $3,000 and $2,000 respectively. KM77 conducted a Moose test with the Model 3 and it performed flawlessly. The Moose test is performed to determine how well a certain vehicle evades a suddenly appearing big obstacle, such as a moose. Tesla has released a DIY guide for Model 3 with basic procedures from simple to moderately complex, which you can perform yourself without going to a service center. The guide contains simple instructions and useful GIFs. Tesla began shipping Model 3 standard versions with locked features. Previously, all standard Model 3s were shipped with a software-limited battery, but other features remained untouched. And now, for the first time, Tesla delivered a car with the software-locked features, although left immersive sound. In the first 3 months of 2019, in California, Tesla delivered 20,491 vehicles. 15,805 of them were Model 3s. For the first time, electric vehicles took more than 5% of the passenger car market share. Please note that after electric car sales grew, hybrid sales decreased. Model 3 owner from Quebec shared a photo where Tesla Autopilot suggested a lane change into oncoming traffic, although there was no one to overtake. It's possible that the route required a left turn next, and Autopilot believed that the car needed to be in the left lane, but it's amazing that it didn't pay attention to the semi. Remember we showed you how Tesla Autopilot reacted to the rabbit? It turns out it doesn't like geese as much. It did not see the goose at all, and for a split second identified it as a pedestrian. Consumer Reports tested Tesla Autopilot and wrote, "In practice, we found that Navigator Autopilot lagged far behind a human driver's skill set. The feature cut off cars without leaving enough space and even passed other cars in ways that violate state laws," according to several law enforcement representatives CR interviewed for this report. The driver often had to prevent the system from making poor decisions. After criticism from Tesla owners, auto testing director Jake Fisher wrote that their points were misunderstood. In fact, the review was specifically about the new ability to remove the confirmation and alert on lane change. He added that he himself uses Autopilot, and having tried other automakers' assistance systems, he came to a conclusion they aren't nearly as capable as Tesla. He added, "It appears that many others have summarized their findings and did not read or comprehend what the article was about. It was about the latest options." Tesla changed the price of the FSD package. Again, it used to be $6,000 when ordering the car and $8,000 if you buy it later. The price will grow as new features are added. 2 months after Tesla released Supercharger V3, It still has only 2 functioning third-generation charging stations in California. Now it's opening another store in Texas at the end of the summer. Tesla added free charging to cars in stock. These are the cars that Tesla used as show cars in stores and for test drives. They did not receive the latest hardware update, and thus Tesla is trying to make them seem attractive to buyers. Tesla will put an 80% charging limit at Supercharger stations that are usually occupied more than others. This will affect approximately 17% of stations in the United States. 8% of these will have 24/7 limitations and 9% temporary during national holidays or major events. You can bypass these restrictions if your destination is far and you were routed through this station. Then you can charge as much as you need to complete the trip. Tesla Owners Society in Northern Virginia arranged a flash mob with a bunch of cars demonstrating summon feature. Shame that little Tesla doesn't get software updates. Looks like Gigafactory 3 building is almost ready. And here are the first pictures from the inside of the factory. There is no equipment yet, but they're clearly preparing for this. Boring Company. Las Vegas Convention Center made a decision to build a transportation network that will connect the buildings of the center in favor of the Boring Company. This is their first commercial project. The system will cost $50 million. It includes 3 underground passenger stations, an underground crosswalk, and 2 transport tunnels about 1 mile long. Meanwhile, Elon Musk's night is still watching over the Boring Company's progress from his watchtower. The company also showed a video where 2 cars participate in some kind of race, with one going on the regular road and the other one through the boring tunnel. SpaceX. After 2 delays, SpaceX launched the Falcon 9 rocket with the first batch of 60 Starlink satellites. Satellites are equipped with only 1 solar panel instead of 2 to minimize the possibility of something going wrong. By the way, this is how Starlink satellites look like over the Netherlands. The ships returned to Port Canaveral with the Starlink mission fairings. They were pulled out of the water. Whether they will be used in the following launches is not clear. Mr. Steven missed out on this mission. It was in the process of getting his hands back and a new net that was already tested. Next time, Mr. Steven may try to catch a fairing on June 22nd. During the Falcon Heavy launch. Musk said that SpaceX plans to begin testing a vacuum-optimized Raptor engine version in about 4 months. They'll begin building Super Heavy orbital prototype in 3 months. Meanwhile, the top part of Starhopper was installed at the ship in Boca Chica. A satellite for South Korean Army is going to be launched on a Falcon 9 in November as part of the offset agreement with Lockheed Martin. Elon was asked what he thinks about Jeff Bezos's O'Neill colonies. Makes no sense, he wrote. In order to grow the colony, you'd have to transport vast amounts of mass from planets, moons, asteroids. Would be like trying to build the USA in the middle of the Atlantic Ocean. James Smalley, a PMI Industries employee who oversaw quality operations, was charged with falsifying the inspection reports for Falcon 9 and Falcon Heavy parts. PMI is Aerospace Precision Machining Service, specializing in high-tolerance machining for flight-critical aerospace parts used to build spaceflight vehicles by SpaceX and other Department of Defense aerospace contractors. Investigation revealed that Smalley allegedly falsified 38 source inspection reports for parts purchased by SpaceX for the manufacturing of the Falcon 9 and Falcon Heavy series of space vehicles. 7 NASA spaceflight missions, 2 Air Force space missions, and 1 National Oceanic and Atmospheric Administration spaceflight mission were identified as impacted by parts purchased by SpaceX from PMI. All rocket parts are tested by SpaceX, and this is an additional test for government and military missions, which is exactly why missions like that are more expensive. Smalley said that he wanted to ship more product for the company. he's facing up to 10 years in prison. And that's it. Thank you for watching, and we'll see you next week.